President Trump has proven he knows how to do these things. He needs to remind the American people of what we did in the past and what we can do in the future. And it's about the future. The election is about the future. And if this is a policy debate, we'll kick their ass. If it's a personality debate, we might lose.
That was Republican Senator and Trump lapdog, Lindsey Graham, who is delusional enough to think that the reason why the Republican Party has been successful is because of their policies and not because of Trump's cult of personality, which I think is a crazy thing to say. But I do think that on a more local level, that point could be true. I want to elaborate on that a little more in just a minute. But before I do, Cenk, what were your thoughts on that weird rant?
Okay, I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So first of all, policies. Policies? We're talking about policies?
Like what policies?
What policies? All right, so Anna's gonna get more into the culture wars and how they distract you. But the second hilarious thing was, Democrats have shining personalities?
Oh my God.
We would win on person. Have you ever met Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer? Chuck Schumer has a personality that is so much better than Republican personalities.
I mean, that man
Joe
does
Biden,
look compelling.
Look at them. Those are the compelling personalities that Republicans are losing to.
Dems are so hot right now.
Yeah. So look, even Republican voters don't believe that. If Lindsey Graham tried to sell them that bill of goods, no guys, we're losing because Chuck Schumer is so dynamic. Okay, really? And I mean, your nickname for Joe Biden is literally Sleepy Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and go, well, he's so much more charismatic than Trump or any Republican. That's why they're winning all the time. Okay, if you say so, brother. I would love it. I'd be here for it, but that ain't the case. And literally, in this case, literally everyone knows that.
What helped Trump undeniably was the fact that he's a cult of personality. In fact, what ended up hurting Trump in the 2020 election cycle were his COVID-related policy. Had it not been for the pandemic, I'm certain that Trump would have actually been reelected. But COVID was so devastating for the American people, and his lack of leadership was so devastating that it hurt him and it put Joe Biden over the edge and he won. But again, going back to the whole personality thing, you might not like Trump's personality, you might find it off-putting, but let's not mistake the fact that his supporters love his personality. And if you compare him to Biden and Democratic leadership, you can kind of understand why. So we brought the receipts. Here's a fun compilation of Donald Trump showcasing his personality.
And let me just say before you run it, then we're gonna show you the Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see who's a more interesting personality, for better or for worse. Let's watch.
A guy who spells his name M-E-I-J-E-R, but they pronounce it Meyer. The hell kind of a spelling is that? Meyer. It's Meyer, but it's actually pronounced Meyer. I said, how the hell do you pronounce this guy's name? Nobody knows him. He's done nothing in Washington.
Nobody can do it like me. Nobody. Nobody can do it like me. Honestly.
Nobody's stronger than me.
Nobody has better toys than I do.
There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Nobody loves the Bible more than I do.
Nobody builds walls better than me. Nobody's better to people with disabilities than me.
Nobody's fighting for the veterans like I'm fighting for the veterans.
There's nobody that's done so much for equality as I have.
There's nobody more pro-Israel than I am.
There's nobody more conservative than me.
There is nobody that respects women more than I do. Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump. I'm sitting there tweeting, bing, bing, bing. You press a button, bing, bing. They all hand you checks, bing, 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 bing. We had our beautiful Marine standing there, bing, 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 bing. You know, in the old days, bing, bong. You know, with the map, bing, bing, bing. Little mouth on him, bing, 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 bing. Bing, 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 they're cleaning up. Fix it up, bing, bing, bing. A 14-point plan, bing, bing, bing. Anthony Weiner, you know, the little bing, bing, bing. Everyone's attacked me, has gone bing. Everyone else, bing.
Don't worry about it, little Marco, I will.
All right, well, let's hear Big Don. Donald.
Don't worry about it, don't worry about it, little Marco.
He's always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me, he's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2". Have you seen his hands? They're like this. And you know what they say about men with small hands?
Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
Okay, again, listen, it's important to differentiate, like, or to separate his personality, which you might find off-putting, from like how much you hate him, his policies and all of that. No, I mean, the reason why he's so popular among the Republican electorate is his personality. Like, let's just keep it real. You can't deny that.
And in all of that, did you guys hear any policy? All I heard was bing, 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 bop, bing, bop, bing, 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 right? And the Republicans love it. And honestly, like the country elected him the first time, nearly elected him the second time based on the Electoral College. So now let's go to the Democrats and see if Lindsey Graham is right, that they are at least as equally scintillating, but he says far more. These Democrats win because of their shining personalities. Let's find out.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
He promised to keep government shut down for months or years, no matter whom it hurts. That's just plain wrong. The fact is, we all agree we need to secure our borders while honoring our values.
Face many dangers. One being stationed at bases breathing in toxic smoke from burn pits. Many of you have been there. For Secretary of Health and Education Service, I nominated Javier Baccaria. Javier Becerra, excuse me.
Look, I don't feel pleasure showing you that, but it's the truth, okay? It's the truth.
Yeah.
We gotta be real about it.
Yeah, now back to what Lindsey Graham's trying to hide with the worst lie in American history. And like seriously, even if you're a Republican, what policy are you super proud of?
Tax cuts for the rich, which polled poorly among all Americans, including Republican voters. They did not want tax cuts for corporations and the rich, but they did it anyway. Is that the policy? And it's funny because they didn't campaign on that policy.
Yeah.
They didn't campaign on that policy.
Not once. Never did they say in 2016 or 2020, if you elect us, we will make sure to get $2 trillion to the rich. To the richest people in the country, we're gonna funnel your taxpayer money straight to them. They never said that, but that's the only major legislation that they passed. And at the end, Trump realized, oops, I forgot the wall. And in a panic in the last year, built about 3.5 feet of the wall, just so he could say, well, I built something, I don't know, man. I mean, you could jump over it, but whatever, right? And so even if you were screaming as a right winger, immigration, we hate the immigrants, we hate them. First of all, that's not a policy. Second of all, you didn't even do that. You didn't even build a wall, you didn't do anything. Because the whole thing is to own the libs. And so that's why they feed you all that culture war crap. Oh, be afraid, mad at Dr. Seuss and the wrong bathroom, and can you then the high school girls track team and all that squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Because if you found out the only reason they exist is to funnel your money to the rich, it would get a lot less votes.